All right, it popped up instantly.
Green is good.
The game we play. Sorry, gents. Start streaming. Let's see what we get now. I got green. Yeah, we're stable now. I mean, I still sound like a robot, but that was weird. And when I checked this node down here after the restart, it wasn't assigning any IP addresses. And I checked the other one.
Yeah, we are good, and been close to 120 hertz.
Did it just not grab it yet? Or they're funny how they have to like sync all up and stuff, but when they get going, they're good. I haven't restarted them in months. That's probably why. All right, so sorry, you said our thing went up.
Yeah, standing above it all.
And Princess Mononoke Blu-ray, $12. Twitch.
All right.
Here we are. We're just chatting.
Hopefully this doesn't change anything on your end. Let's find out.
Oh, he's
Good.
very tiny in Midgar. Bring it back down. And we're holding stable. We're good.
Zoom.
The only thing broken is the stuff that's usually broken anyways. It did not.
Imale.
Get in the chat and have Renee yell at us for our connection. And threaten to make us move to...
Hello, Renee. Let's see you.
The Zoom.
On the YouTubes.
My dumbass put at Gmail.
I don't know. Twitch is telling me, please don't share passwords and personal information. That's the only thing I post on Twitch, so it's going to be very awkward going forward. Yeah.
Is it Renee? Is Renee chat on something?
Yeah, that's what I changed it this week.
Social Security.
Hopefully nobody logs in.
All right, we should be well past the preamble, so now I have to go to the bathroom.
Share a new Social Security every week.
I know. I do the same thing with Instagram. Follows me and Tessa on Instagram. We're just sending back passwords and login information.
Do.
And Social Security.
Do.
Oh God, I can't do this. I'm tired. I'm ready.
Your body is ready.
Ready for the humping monkey.
That damn monkey. It's just going at it.
Monkey rules. I don't ever see it on anybody else's screen. It's only on our screen. But he sees the humping monkey.
Oh my gosh! Look at all of them.
They said he's playing Final Fantasy 13 right now. He's fighting a refrigerator. That means.
Gotta add that.
It's been a while since I played Final Fantasy 13, so I don't remember that in there.
Final Fantasy 13, fighting a refrigerator. Okay.
Sure.
Renee learned how to.
Knowing
beat the
Joe.
refrigerator, and then I've got one with a very loud compressor. You can help.
Humping monkey, man. It's number one.
Number one.
If you can hear me through my robot voice. Y'all ready? Skype.
Air.
Was the monkey humping something? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode
Usually 8 o'clock.
Usually,
podcast.
we don't start troubleshooting until 8 o'clock. That's usually how it works.
Southeast premier video game podcast. Thank you for waiting for us this evening if you're watching live. We're live every Wednesday-ish night. Subject to change at what 8:30ish is when we shoot for, or we shoot for 8. Yeah. we began troubleshooting at 8 o'clock. We are live sometime after 8, almost every Wednesday-ish night. We'll try to get back to Wednesdays more regularly, maybe. I don't know, or change days. There's no telling, but here's some news for you. Embracer Group is at it again. Mega Man movie, ? Nintendo Online having more issues. What could those be? Final Fantasy VII upgrade news. I think we have a new path to victory included in that. What did Bandai Namco just trademark? Actual ?
Season 2.
News. And we have your January games with Gold and PlayStation Plus. And stay tuned.
What's up?
News and games played, and we will go over our favorite games and experiences that we had in 2021. Or as many people
I want to add more to our troubleshooting woes, but it seems like one of us is silent.
2020 year.
Sound like the hills.
There we go. That's what it is. I'm Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Brant McKee, the news builder. News was light, Brant. Thank you for sparing us this week.
Oh no,
it'll be me.
Took last week off, so it was nice to not have much accumulate on us. And Cesar Concepcion, not silent.
I don't know who's silent. I need more input from our single viewer.
Yeah.
Test. Do we want to do this or just get our recording done?
Really? Nothing?
Oh, you can't tell?
Hello.
Oh, you would know. You became silent. I will beat it like Dead Space 2. It's Renee. Renee's always here with us. Welcome, Renee. Why would he be silent? Alright, I'm making some changes again. I don't see anything from Brant's NDI source or yours, Cesar. Nope, there was Brant. Cesar, give me something. Cesar's on me too. I don't know. I think you guys are good, and we can hear it on Skype pretty well. All right, let's knock out this news. Wrap up this year. Fuss, cuss, and discuss our year in gaming we all had together and apart. First up in news, if I can get there, Embracer Group acquires Dark Horse. That's not usually what they're after, right? DIGIC, Perfect World Entertainment, Shiver Entertainment, and Spot Film Media. This news comes from Komatsu. I think the biggest bit of this, of course, is Dark Horse. They are the third largest publisher of comic books. They own or control 300 intellectual properties, many of which can build a strong foundation for the future development of
like you're trying to use those big words upon a potential buyer. Cross-fertilize our portfolios.
Across PC, console, virtual reality, and mobile.
Yeah. Somebody's like, damn, we got to buy them. How much they cost?
Cross-fertilize. It's a very marketing-centric term. It's like you're breeding corn or something. You're trying to grow corn for the harvest.
No, I mean there's Embracer Group has so many moving parts at this point. The article we're looking at is from Komatsu via Sal Romano. If you want to look over, because they broke down exactly who's acquiring whom and where they're going and things like that. But it just seems like this is a different type of push. Usually they're going more games styled and focused stuff, but this is more like we're saying cross fertilization. This is different types of media. So yes. Coach.
It's German. I think it is pronounced cock. It is what you fear it to be, I believe. So.
Embracer Group, they're adding all these people.
Yeah.
So you have Gearbox Entertainment, you have Coach Media.
Yeah, it's. I think it is cock. Yeah.
It's not. It's Koch Media.
Yeah, the biggest thing. The biggest thing is, like you said, the Dark Horse comics, because I mean they got a lot of IPs they own. They also license a lot of manga here, but they don't own but like they own
Okay,
Hellboy,
Koch Media.
so they can make a
Saber
Hellboy game. There's a lot of stuff they do
and
own
Shore
that
Entertainment. So those are all in that umbrella.
can create IPs. Hmm?
God, that's confusing as shit. Right. Oh. Oh, and figures. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. So sorry. Figures too. I got 2 Halo figures from them, and I think one of my Zelda figures is.
This is very new.
They're going to be the recreation of the cover of the first Mega Man game from NES.
Probably.
Next up.
Probably.
This comes from The Verge.
I would pay to
Netflix
watch
is
that.
making a live-action
That train wreck.
Mega Man movie. I have not heard or seen anything about this. This is also news to me.
I remember seeing something somewhere where they discussed about like video game art, and he talked about it, and they're like, "Hey man, they described to me what this game was about, and this is what I got." I think that's what he ended up saying. So I was like, I don't think he had any like firsthand. I don't think he had any like firsthand looks at it. So if I remember correctly, it's been a while. I don't remember what show I saw it on, but I remember them talking about it.
I mean, famously.
Between a rock man and a hard place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it had to be done really fast.
I don't know. All I see is Chris Pratt in there, and I was like, oh, here we go. No, but it's like the second sentence in that paragraph. First paragraph.
They're just talking about how video game adaptations are getting a lot of, or video game movies are, becoming pretty prevalent. Like, we're getting live action Halo series. Sonic is getting a sequel. They say Chris Pratt is playing Mario.
Wait.
And it says technically the Mega Man movie has been in the works since 2015. It became a little bit more formal in 2018. That's when I guess Capcom officially announced that they'd be doing a live action film.
They took 3 years to like fill around with it before they're like, all right, yeah, let's do this.
But yeah, it's apparently.
I mean,
it's apparently
Resident Evil and the Monster Hunter movies.
Yeah. Oh gosh. But yeah.
Okay. Longer than they did with the cover art.
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah.
I would argue Double Dragon, but you guys would fight me against it, so I won't even. I'm gonna retract my my one thing out there. So
those are the best video game adaptations, right? Would you say so?
It was pretty good.
We did finish The Witcher season 2 this past week, and it's very
S A B C D all the way down to F or something like that.
Moving on.
Okay.
Oh, I'll throw
so A minus, B plus.
Sonic the Hedgehog belongs. Yeah. If Castlevania and The Witcher are what are they S? Is that how the ranking stuff goes? Then Sonic.
Yeah.
Sonic's in between an A and a B. It's up there. Yeah, you could watch The Witcher or the Castlevania animated series, I think, without reverence for the source material and enjoy them, right? I know someone who has never played The Witcher and loves both of those seasons. She's upstairs. And loves both of those seasons. And I think Castlevania is the same way. I mean, there's stuff in there for us, right? The people who, not 3 dudes that play games, but gamers at large that would be more familiar with the property.
And it's like, I know I've had this conversation before, but like I literally went to Publix earlier and the cashier, she was telling me like she saw my Uncharted shirt and she's like, oh, I can't wait for that movie to come out. She's like, I never played any of the games. She's like, I kind of want to play the games now because the movie's coming out.
No.
But I guess she's that age where she's like, she only knows of Tom Holland and she's psyched about the movie. She's like, I might play the games now. So like whatever Sony's doing, this is what they wanted. So it's working.
Okay.
The game, because that Richard collection comes out right when the movie comes out. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just smiled. I was like, you should play the game. I don't know what to say because I was like, she's like, I don't know what the games are. I know there are games, but she's like, I'm super excited about this movie though.
There it is.
It's
There it is. That's the example, and it's gonna happen. And it's gonna turn people into fans, and the movie's gonna
There
do
you
well.
go,
The
yeah.
movie will not flop.
I haven't either. So
Super deep
yes,
cut
I've
is
seen them.
just to like kind of casually glance off whatever.
It's
comment
pretty
and
good.
Said, I'm gonna file this.
Pretty good.
Not a problem.
I mean, I think it's odd that
Deep
it's
cut.
supposed to take place before
watched
pretty
that
much
second trailer.
everything in the
Fuck,
games,
did it
but
look
then
good? Did you
there's
guys
kind of
check it out?
hints to things that are pulled straight out of the video games.
I just
So
it's what
Second trailer's out. How did it look, Brant?
I'm playing devil's advocate because I enjoyed the Prince of Persia movie, but it's an adaptation. That's all it is. When you look at adaptation, is they take something from it and kind of mold it to something different. So like, because the guy who created Prince of Persia,
issue,
the original guy did,
Prince of
he wrote
Persia
the script for that movie.
tried to
So
straddle that line, and it wasn't quite the right thing.
yeah, because he made sure he wrote that script. That was the way he wanted it done. He didn't want to do a direct. He kind of just took an adaptation of it. So
Yeah, Jordan Maker.
let me.
yeah,
It runs in a browser now.
I'm willing to do it when they put it on the fridge. Let me know.
I saw it on Twitter, and it's like it's just
Yeah.
something.js, I believe.
Now when people walk by, it's like, you've just been staring at that fridge for hours. I'm like,
I was playing Prince of Persia for a second,
I
and then I remembered.
I got
that it's
bridges. I got a
basically
gap here. Just let
where
me
you have to,
let me
like,
handle my business.
You don't move right, and you have to line up every single jump perfectly. And I'm like, let's put it on the fridge.
One of them's a dark prince. Yeah, a dark fridge prince.
just wait till they put it on Alexa.
Fridge of time.
Alexa, move forward. Alexa, move forward. Alexa, jump.
We get the
Jump,
fridge
stab,
collection, we get
parry.
fridge of time,
Up, jump, stab,
fridge
parry.
within, and 2 fridges.
Jump slash parry. Jump slash parry. Roll backwards.
You fell to your death.
You can't jump here. Alexa, move back slightly and try to jump again. What were your commands, Cesar?
Video games are hard, man.
I fell.
It's a dark.
You initially like.
It's a Dark Souls of
drop down, and then you can either run straight across.
side-scrolling
the platform.
platformers.
I thought there was something past them. There was nothing there, and then the platform fell. So it's like shit.
Yeah, the Resident Evil
You go
of
back to the left, and you drop down. You're immediately
side-scrolling platformers.
before I got to the second room.
Yeah, you can't find any ammo.
Yeah.
You don't even have any to begin with.
Arabic theme. Platformers. I didn't run out of ammo.
That's always my go-to one. Is either the Resident Evil or the Dark Souls or something. I'm like, great. I'm playing the Dark Souls version of this. I'm like, oh god.
Oh, we need to
Non-stop
have a
deaths
master
left
list
and
of
right.
Resident Evil of. We've played Resident Evil of Halo. We've played Resident Evil of Gears.
It's
Yeah.
been in development longer than any new Mega Man game. I don't know. They kind of like just shot out 11 and just like, all right, we gave you something,
when
deal
is
with
the
it.
Mega Man thing coming
Mm.
out? This has been in development for longer than the Mega
Decently.
Man for 3D.
They went back and did those remasters on like I don't know what they got left to remaster in Mega Man series other than the Battle Network. I mean, that was like supposed to be this year. That's rumored coming out next year. So, man, that hurts, man. I don't want to talk about that. That hurts.
And it was
I love me some
successful,
Legends and
right?
Trombone.
Very successful. Yeah.
I beat both. I beat Legends and 64. I don't.
Or the Legend series, the 3D.
It's the first one, yeah. It's the first one. The second Legends game, like Legends 2, was so freaking different.
And Mega Man 64.
Like they expanded the world and everything. It was like I remember sitting there staying up like late at night before I went to school. Like I was in high school playing Mega Man Legends 1 on PlayStation 1. I think I remember staying up till like midnight and beating that game. I still remember to this day.
Or greatest hits. Okay.
Fucking love Mega Man Legends. Yeah, to this day. Oh god, no, that was like Are they? They're not really
Yeah.
that difficult outside of the controls. That was like the Mega Man Legends is like the only Mega Man game I've actually
I
beaten.
remember to this day. Was it the Resident Evil of Mega Man's? Which one is that?
Yeah, because that one is beatable. It's not like I'm getting. No, it's beatable because I'm not getting like constant enemy respawns. If I step back 2 steps and there's like an enemy response from there, I was like, great, now I got to go through all that. Ninja Gaiden bats swooping down and knocking me off the ledge and falling down to my death. Yeah.
The 3D one.
I tried playing Mega Man Legends. When you saw me, I got through all the original robots and got to the Wily stages, and it's like, it's just bullshit. It's just nonstop. Like, it's just stuff put there to make sure I fall and die. I'm like, I don't know how. I was like, fuck this game. I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I was on Xbox, I believe. I was doing it on there. I got through all of them. I beat every one of the robots and got to the Wily stage. I can't get past the Wily stage. I was like, fuck this game. And I never played it ever since.
Dang.
What were you playing that on your last playthrough? One of the Mrs. favorite games of all time is Mega Man 2 for the Game Boy. I'm like, how is this? But it's, it's like those obscure...
Look, if you talk to anybody who plays games, there's always that one game that's got somebody on something that's uniquely different. That's how it usually is. So.
Somewhat similar to this, the native one, the console version, I guess. It's just strange. I'm always like, okay, sure, Mega Man. I love Mega Man for Game Boy. What?
Is that game even beatable? I played the Genesis one and thought, I was like, maybe
friend of the show,
maybe it's because of the Genesis version, and I went to the Super Nintendo and was like, no, it's just me, I suck. And I was like, I never...
Disney Collection, and she says she's about to beat it, and I'm like, I don't think anyone has ever beat that game. I'm not sure.
Who's... It has to be towards the end. That's like the final boss in the movie, right?
Yeah.
It's Scar.
Like there was a bug
Unless they're gonna pull like a Final Fantasy, and then somebody comes from another dimension and be like, "Oh, I was here controlling everything for the whole time."
Down.
I'm like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Yeah, bitch. You just got Final Fantasy. I was like, "Oh God, here we go again."
Rafiki pushes Scar off the ledge at the last second and says, "Bitch, I'm the final boss."
Come out there super buff. I'm like, what the? Yeah. That sounds like something that would have been done in the 16-bit days too.
He keeps just dodging you and bopping you on the head.
Let's go.
Yep, all us singing that.
Rafiki would make a good ass boss.
Yeah, it's just haunting you in your sleep, just having nightmares of that song playing in the background.
Yeah.
She should stream it.
Yeah.
Hey, no camera needs to be involved. Just streaming. Just no voice. Just streaming. Just being the game.
I thought that game was impossible, so I've been telling her that. So I'm glad that I just didn't make that up.
Just all we have to do is we all pitch in and we all put $10 in and buy her a copy of that game on Xbox and just have her stream from there. She doesn't need anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I've still got that.
Sure, yeah.
Just put you sitting there acting like you're playing it, but really she's like sitting off to the side doing it. You're like, I'm gonna do it, guys.
She don't even need to be there. She can just play, and you can just it's just your reaction to her playing. Like I didn't even know you could do that. Just the whole time.
Is it under the NOFODcast banner? Do we bring her in?
I'm willing to spend $10.
Yeah, let's do it.
But I'm doing the TV video game thing.
Yeah.
Brent's
okay.
Well.
I'll run through the second one real quick.
And now it comes with Jungle Book, right? So it's actually 3 games. You have to beat the Disney Collection.
All right, so Nintendo Online Expansion Pass Plus seems to continue to run into lots of little issues. So, yeah, but it doesn't seem like Nintendo's taking the proper care in order to
Paper Mario, what's wrong with that, Brant?
Tailor the emulator that they're using to these games. They're just kind of doing so I've actually seen something about this.
Granted, it's more
Apparently, the
expensive,
reason
but
those
surely I'm
games
getting a great value.
on the Virtual Console used to run so good on the Wii, and then again on the Wii U, is because the person that they actually had develop them not only developed an emulator that could run the games, but would actually go through and manually tweak the emulator for the specific game so that they all ran where they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, he was still there, and they just they put that weird filter over it to, for epilepsy, I think it was. Even though most of those games didn't really have many flashing things, but anyway,
They didn't have them on the Wii U, right? They were gone.
so when that gentleman left
They did-
Nintendo, they just decided to kind of come up with another emulator, and now they're doing a kind of blanket emulation. And they're using the same one now that they used
that person's name. Very important.
last year when they developed the Super Mario 3D All Stars, and it's the same one that they used for that they're using for the expansion pass. And the problem is it's not being tweaked for each individual game, so that's why we have all these issues like latency and frame drops and all this things. Because anybody that deals with emulation, you know that there's a handful of games that'll run really well, but then you start throwing some of these more difficult games, you start having a lot of problems depending on the hardware, depending on what limitations and your settings and your back end and your emulator and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah.
So what's
That's
going
why-
on is, aside from the standard
That's
stuff,
why
like I said,
FPGA has
frame
been such a big
drops
deal in
and
the community, is
some
that
input
it's
lag and
literally
things,
emulating the
people are
machine,
having
so
an
you're not
issue
having to,
where
or it's
there's like a
providing the
specific
exact resources from
tree
the machine, so you're
that
not
if
having to do
and
that
there's a
side
video
stuff, like,
attached into
way
this
back in there.
that's actually linked from the Reddit Paper Mario. And the dude just walks up to this tree, smacks it, and then his game crashes, backs out of the emulator, and his save data is gone. And apparently it's not just that. There's certain boss fights within the game where if you lose to the boss, for some reason the game crashes and then you lose all your save. So use a combination of the quick saves and the save states
Wow.
of the game, because for some reason it's just a bug with this emulator. If it crashes, then it wipes your save data.
So you're telling me this is the Dark Souls of Paper Mario?
Yes. This is the hard mode that they've incorporated into the N64 emulator for
It's
the
like the
Switch.
Nuzlocke version of Pokemon, but for Paper Mario. It's like permadeath and everything. It's like you die, you lose your save, and you have to start from scratch again.
Pretty much.
No, it's like it's like watching those Nuzlocke ones for Pokemon, where if your Pokemon faints, and you have to treat your Pokemon as dead and get rid of it and trade it off, and like they add these extra rules to it.
Oh, have you not seen these, Richard? Where people go into an area and the first Pokemon you encounter in that area is the only Pokemon you encounter, and if you don't catch it, then that you're out of luck. You have to go somewhere else to catch another Pokemon. And yeah, you can, if your Pokemon faints, you treat it as dead. You release it.
Yeah. So like I've seen people release their starters because they screwed up and let it faint on accident. So
Pokemon hard
mode, man. It's the Dark Souls of Pokemon.
It to.
Why would someone do this?
He disappeared from the internet. That's what he wanted.
Why would you do this? That does not sound like a good time. I cannot find this emulator.
That's the one they're using.
God tier.
That's the one they're using though. Is that emulator that they've created, and it's
They've had a good.
it's a decent
one
emulator,
in the
but like I said,
arcade,
you can't.
European
One
group
size
that
does
does,
not
like,
fit
the-
all
they
for
did the
emulation.
64 one for the Switch.
When it's
Can't remember that.
just plain
That's
software
a long
emulation,
ago.
you've got
I
to
thought
be
they
able
had a
to
good
go in
internal
and
group.
manually tweak settings.
Yeah. It's not good.
And I said it before here, folks, and I'll say it again. Just everybody buy a Wii U. Play Paper Mario on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still got to get my damn account unlocked.
All right, Paper Mario, not that great to play on Switch
Yeah.
Online, just like Ocarina of Time. I know of one that's available if someone's interested.
Ooh.
So we can discuss that later on if need be. Oh,
Yeah,
man,
a couple Wednesdays.
You did have an issue. Moving on, this comes from Engadget. The PlayStation Plus version of Final Fantasy VII Remake can be upgraded to integrate after all. This was added this past Wednesday as 2 Wednesdays ago. A couple Wednesdays back.
She's one of my favorite characters. She was awesome.
The official account said starting this
Yeah.
Wednesday,
So I've
PlayStation
now
Plus
got the whole
previously
game
named Final Fantasy VII Remake
for
PlayStation Plus
$35,
will be able to upgrade
but
to
there were
PS5
people out there that were
version.
lucky enough to wait
Episode
until
Intermission, the
it came to
DLC
PlayStation
Yuffie
Plus, and then lucky enough to wait to get the
25%
free
off
upgrade.
every
So
time. And this
you could
SRP
get
enjoying the Yuffie DLC.
the entire upgrade plus DLC for all $14.
Mhm.
It's been-
Just I popped in the PS4 disc, and then I can't. I think I went to the store.
What is the path to victory?
And
Making sure you have the PS5
it was-
version downloaded.
You
Does it
could
tell you to
select
go
the
to the store,
PS5
or
version. I think it just
how does
said
that work?
download. I don't know. Yeah,
No, because I only have the.
I don't know if they said there's a limited time frame that you can do that from. I assume you're still able to do it.
It sounds like Borderlands experience.
It just the article
Yeah.
links to Polygon, and Polygon notes a correction at the bottom. Says the previous version of this post mistakenly said the upgrade from PS4 to PS5 is free. Players must pay for the upgrade. Square Enix hasn't specified pricing. I don't know what the pricing is on the upgrade. So
If you go into your purchases or whatever,
Weird.
PlayStation Plus library, it'll be in there, and you can just select the PS5 one.
yes, initially you could not do the upgrade because they didn't consider it something that you owned. But you have to pay something. I don't know how much it is because I already. Yeah, you would be the one to look for because I already have it like
But
a
they
digital
said
version on
you
mine.
paid From
Yeah.
the PS4 one that we got after the PS5 was out, you could not do that. Right. Yeah. I might try
Yeah.
that.
Rand, correct me if I'm wrong. I know you went through and did the upgrades already on yours for the PS5 stuff,
I might
right?
test that out and see what it looks like.
On some of your games, because
Yeah.
I know
Borderlands was pretty
after they
straightforward. You
take
pop
away
the
some of the
disc in, and
upgrades
it
on some of
was-
those games, so that's why I
would
went through and just popped
Yeah.
all my discs that I could and
go to
just did the
PlayStation
free
4 for
upgrades.
PS5 version or something.
I
Yeah.
did the same.
But
and
yeah, there's some that they took
aside
away, yeah.
From,
Disc, but I wonder
yeah.
about the
Aside
disc.
from what was it? Tony Hawk Pro
Because
Skater.
that was $10.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like they were like, yeah, you upgrade and blah blah blah, and then you pop it in. It's like, yeah, it's
Yeah, I think I
$10
looked up a
upgrade.
guide, and every game that I had on there, I went ahead and did it because they were taking some off.
Oh,
They were
they
like
go
they only
away?
did it for like 6 months or a year or something like that, and after that you had to pay them
Yeah.
for the separate version. So I went through and just upgrade and unlocked the upgrades for everything. Because once you unlocked it, you're good. So
Yeah,
you need the PS4 disc to play the PS5 digital. Yep. It's like the PS3 to PS4 thing. So. Mm-hmm.
Mm. You have that digital license. You just have to pop the disc in, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's not bad. Yeah. Assassin's Creed and Battlefield and stuff.
Canada maybe.
All right, Bandai Namco. What did they trademark? That was in our news. Well, they trademarked Klonoa Encore in Japan and Wahoo Encore in... I thought that was Europe.
What? No, it was Mr. Driller.
Skipped ahead. Anyways, the Klonoa games. Bandai Namco trademarked Klonoa Encore in Japan in September 2019. Encore is the subtitle Bandai Namco uses for its remastered game releases, such as, was it, not Drill Dozer, something else. Was it Drill Dozer? Mr. Driller. I'm getting my drill franchise.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of those ones they did like on the Switch, where it came on Switch and then like a year later comes on everything else. So.
1 and 2 Encore in September of this year in Japan. Wahoo's the catchphrase of
Yes.
the Klonoa series titular protagonist. The trademark was also filed in Europe on December 20th. So
It'd be nice to have a collection. Yes.
All 5 games. I'll take all 5 games.
the trademark was also filed in the United States on December 17th. So we could definitely use some more Klonoa.
I'll be happy to take all 5. Yes.
What do you think this will be? That Wii one maybe? Or 1 and 2 together? It did say 1 and 2 Encore. All 5 Klonoa.
Games of Gold. You got
all versions of
Nero Voider. Ground.
So hopefully there will be news on that
soon.
All right,
Radiant Silvergun, which you know I'm a shoot 'em up fan, so.
And I didn't pull it up, but your PlayStation Plus titles.
That's really the.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then Space Invaders Infinity Gene, which is also another kind of like shoot 'em up type thing. So. Like I said, like Richard mentioned, the Radiant Silvergun is probably the big highlight on there. At least for me, it is. I mean, it's a treasure game.
I mean,
it was made from the Ikaruga style, and this was originally a Saturn game, I believe. I don't think this was not one of the ones that came on GameCube, did it? I know that Ikaruga did later afterwards. So.
I don't believe Silvergun was on the GameCube.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
I think this is when we first got it. Was when it came on like Xbox Live Arcade. When we got it again.
Yeah, that's when I remember it.
But these are your games with gold. Not a bad month, right?
No. I mean, Silvergun's obviously the highlight there.
And I'm okay with Space Invaders.
Yeah, it wasn't on the GameCube.
It wasn't? Okay.
No.
And then PlayStation Plus, which was announced, today? Damn.
It was announced
like
today. It kind of leaked last week. But
I don't know, man. I'm just stuck in 2020 nonstop. So we're getting Deep Rock Galactic Danger, Darkness, and Dwarves on PS5 and PS4.
Yeah, for the same.
Persona 5 Strikers on PS4. And then Dirt 5 on PS5 and PS4. Not too shabby, I say. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's a good month.
And Dirt is a good one to get because a lot of times those Dirt licenses are go the way of the Forzas, where they they get delisted. It is a tourist trophy of racing games. I still remember playing Tourist Trophy, and I was like, "Oh, I can put this on 1080i on a fucking PS2." I was like, "Okay."
And it is 120 frames per second, so it has the increased frame rate on PS5. Tourist Trophy. It did. It was one of only a couple of games that did that. Did you see that? I think I sent Cesar the video.
The demake is
There's
demake.
like
Guess
a
what
cheat
demake?
code
Yeah.
for
Weird.
3 Hoodlum Havoc for PS2.
That's
If you
cool.
name your save profile PS1 and you're running in progressive scan, you can go into like the option menu and it'll literally change all the graphics in it to like this anti-aliased. It looks like a PS1 game, and it was a demake. It's built into the game. It was fucking fascinating. I'll send you that link, Brent. I've been trying to find one for that ever since. I think I have it on Xbox, but from what that person uncovered, it was just a PS2 thing.
They kept it hidden, like they kept that Super Nintendo version of Rayman hidden.
It's built into the game. You just play the whole game looking like it's like a smeary. You know, obviously it's not that wouldn't have run on the PS1. It looks.
Hey, Rayman can't run on everything, man. Wish it would though.
Today. Like, they're taking advantage of the hardware.
Ran better on the GBA.
It's super cool looking. I was like, holy shit. Oh god.
F-Zero was my first game ever on
bad,
GBA.
though. Have you seen footage of that?
Yeah. I can't wait till we get it on our Nintendo Switch Online and it's going to crash and run less than 60 frames per second.
Yeah, launch title. My cousin had that and Tony Hawk. Those were his
I'm trying.
GBA launch games. F-Zero's a good one. We need more F-Zero.
I've always wanted another Klonoa. I love Klonoa. I still have fond memories of playing the GBA versions.
And we're gonna
1 and 2.
F-Zero.
Those were very, very good puzzles.
F-Zero's all of our push. Legend of Dragoon is all of our push.
I think I specifically remember playing the first game while my family was watching As Good as It Gets in the background.
There's smoke to that.
I don't know why that stuck in my head, but it's still there. So.
What is yours?
That memory. I don't know. I don't remember the movie. I played the game. Not As Good as It Gets the game, but Klonoa the game. So.
All right. Interesting. That's a good movie.
I did a whole bunch already today, so.
Associations like that, right?
On you, Brant. Come on.
I ever tried reading Fellowship.
Winner, chicken dinner.
I was listening to Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory, so I can like literally remember tying those two together. Anybody else have anything odd like that on the subject? Yeah. I mean, we tie games to the Christmas my brother and I got Pokemon Red and Blue. He had a Game Boy Pocket, so it had a better contrast, and I had the original Game Boy. But we would play them like my cousins came in town that Christmas.
Yeah,
I remember
lights
on,
are passing.
Christmas tree and that kind of stuff, and like we're just in. My mom had an Astro van that could fit like, it felt like 15 people could go in there.
And you get that
there was no
little weird adjustable worm light thing that you can put over it.
Or whatever they call it.
Doesn't work very well.
It was an RPG. It wasn't. Yeah. It was an RPG, so it wasn't demanding. Like it wasn't a platform or something going to sneak up and just murder you. So you had time to try to wait for something. But we were so glued to. I had a worm light briefly for Game Boy Color. I bought a Game Boy Color the spring right before the Advance came out. So I was going on a trip and the 2 Zelda games had come out. And I wanted those 2 Zelda games. And I didn't have a color by then. So I got the color and then the Advance came out right behind it, which was...
No, next year. I didn't have it this year. And I was looking through some eBay listings and saw it. And I was like, damn, I should have gotten that before Christmas so I could have played it. So I ordered it, and it'll be here Monday, I think. So it'll be here for next year or Christmas in July or something.
We're gonna have to wait till July.
Think of a semi-sequel to a Sega game that is Christmas themed. No, I did not.
What is that?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this was a bundle. I think it was like $50 or something for Nights, and they're the imported versions, but it's Nights, Christmas Nights, and that 3D pad with the joystick. So
what is the value of Christmas Nights?
I've used one at your house, but I haven't owned one yet. I've been looking, so.
Okay. Yeah. The 3D pad is excellent, as you know. Have you used one?
That's what was it?
Okay.
Yeah. Unbeatable game.
Christmas Nights.
Dark Souls, the Banjo-Kazooies.
People were showing off like a Donkey Kong Country 2 and there a whole level in that one.
Lion King is I'm gonna shake the hand of the person who could beat Lion King. I got to.
Cesar's favorite N64 game, Banjo-Kazooie, I think has a Christmas one.
Yeah, I mean, we
Yeah.
they don't have to be on camera. We just need the footage of them like
It's the Lion King of Banjo-Kazooie.
playing the game. Like, oh, this is what you do, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing in that game.
We can sit here and react to them
So
actually
here's
beating
thing,
the
talking about how
unbeatable
she beats
games.
it, do we get her on here to
I-
stream beating it? Like
I still
Derek
like.
and,
I don't think I've
Zelda
ever
2?
played. Like, I played Lion King. I played Aladdin. I don't think I've ever played the Jungle Book, and I bought that collection with the Jungle Book. So I was like, I don't ever remember playing the Jungle Book at all on any of the like SNES or Genesis. So I was like, maybe try it and
I'm
see.
gonna get.
And I
I'm
was
gonna
like,
get Derek. I'll get Derek here locally. That'll be a couch game. It's like, let's go.
Toy Story was good on Genesis. Also, I had a lot of fun with that one.
I haven't either. Mm-mm. The one out of any of those, and it was past those, I guess. But I played a lot of Toy Story for Game Boy. I wanted it. I was in Toy Story Mania, and I circled it. Game Boy was a little rough.
Yeah.
You had these big, the way the mechanics of the game worked with Woody like throwing his pull thing as a lasso. It was just the sprites were so big and slow on Game Boy, and they would fill up the screen. So if something was coming after
Yes,
you,
I do.
you either had to know it was there and start throwing that lasso, or be jumping and hope that so much of
Get
that
those
is like trying to
big,
jump and make
thick
nothing hit you.
catalogs.
But
Yes. Oh,
maniac for it, and my grandmother didn't leave the house, so she didn't shop or
Yeah.
anything. So everything was
they're
like
not.
in these
Especially
mail
this one this
books.
past year. I was
Grant,
like,
you
man,
remember
what
those
is
books?
this?
Grant
This
remembers.
pales in comparison to what
It's
I
when
was
we
sent
circled,
as a
you know,
kid in the
circled
mail.
certain things. We
Toys
knew.
R Us and Sears and J.C. Penney's, and
just be stock.
you look through all those at a
Amazon
kid,
tries
you're
to do the
like,
same
oh
thing
my
on some of those
gosh.
Amazon ones they send
Yeah, you
out.
just get a
It's
marker
not-
or a pen and start circling away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all stuff you know. Yeah, the Toys R Us one was good.
And that's how you looked, and you saw the game called was it
Man.
Balanax on Super Nintendo with the old guy on the cover, and it ends up being a shoot 'em up. You're like, what the fuck?
And you would find
Like, what is this? How do I buy this?
That's how you discovered new stuff too. It wasn't, we were reading gaming mags and stuff, but something would slip up and be one of those catalogs, and it's like, oh now. Oh, we could have an entire episode on bad game purchases based off of screenshots or cover art. Mega Man. Well, that's the
I can never beat the
opposite effect.
fucking water level. Defuse the bombs my ass. It's
Some
like I
of it
think
don't
it's.
make sense,
I've gotten to like the very last bomb, and I never have time to
Really
defuse it. And I'm like,
or they're a cash in. That was
It's
a
the
big thing,
Battletoads of
right?
Ninja Turtles
Turtles.
games.
But
Dark
none
Souls
of
of Ninja
Turtles,
Turtles.
I think, are objectively bad. That first one is very hard, but I don't think any of those games are unfun. Nobody's beat the dam. Okay, so here's a bit. We get this person who doesn't play games, right? They don't have this history weighing on them. They don't have this decades of regret of not being able to beat the damn
Yeah.
level.
I never seen the ending.
Yeah.
I don't assume there was one. I thought it was a demo the whole time. You just put that first part and never get past it.
They're
I
gonna
think
be
it's
Lion
the
King.
demo.
If they
You
be-
just keep dying.
I'm gonna message them and see if I can get a screenshot or something when when they beat Lion King, or like hold down the button and get that 30 seconds so we can see what happened.
The Zazu level when we singing all about that Warner Report bullshit. Yeah.
I've never gotten past. You're either jumping over like
No,
you're
it did
jumping on the
not.
heads of something like
Mhm.
giraffes or the stampede level maybe. There's something where you have to do all these jumps.
Most upbeat roll ever.
Did y'all know that was Mr. Bean? I didn't put that together until a couple of years ago. It's Rowan Atkinson. Did you know that, Brant? Yeah, Zazu. That's Mr. Bean.
Random
Yeah.
bullshit.
He's the advisor. I guess we'll go into games played. I'm just having fun chatting. I
mean, I can tell you
this
the
kind of episode
The
where we just
first game I ever
wander
bought
between subjects
when I
and
started
shit
working
we wanna
as
talk
a
about. We
bagger in a
have an
grocery
episode of
store.
Just that.
First game I ever bought, my first paycheck was a Suicide
I
Code
mean,
2.
that's every episode.
$40
Just-
bucks.
Just rambling about memories and
Yeah.
ordering from catalogs
Dang.
and stuff like that. It's I don't know. We probably delve into that a bunch anyways.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I don't know. It would probably have been something.
Your $5 an hour turned into a decent wage, or turned into a decent product.
I don't know, because I honestly I don't remember. I mean, there was probably something that I saved up my allowance for and got, but as far as paycheck went, I mean, it might have been something for the PS2 or GameCube or something like that. But
Yeah, yeah. Right. I think because I had a summer job for the first like 2 years that I worked, and then my first official job was at EB, and that first night was Halo 2, and I think Halo 2, because I couldn't be there and not like I know I bought the music CD, the one with Breaking Benjamin on it and Incubus, all that stuff. I know I got the game in that at least, and I think I got something else that I just don't know where it's at, but pretty sure it was Halo 2 with the job. I bought a slim PS2 that had come out right before then. I bought a slim PS2 with Katamari Damacy, but I wasn't. That was off my summer check money. So, oh, probably one of my best purchases because I didn't have a debit card. I had a checkbook at the time, and I found a flea market near where we would go and vacation in Florida in the summertime, and
oh
that's
my
where I got
gosh,
Saturn games, except for a couple. So like Panzer Dragoon 2 and Clockwork Knight and Tomb Raider and Mr. Bones and like 6 other ones. I think I got 10 or 11 games. It was $40 on the Saturn with those big dual boxes. But it was 2002,
yeah.
2003. Nobody gave a shit about those, and it was this crappy flea market. And she kept threatening me like, "Is this checking and balance?" And I was like, no, here's my balance. I work 2 months out of the year, and it's for a school system, Brant, the school system that we are surrounded. It was the one and only, the same one. I was like, so it's like a teacher. I get paid
I think
2 months out of the year with 2 checks, and I know exactly what I have. This $40 check is good. So I wrote a
mine was getting Marvel
maybe
vs. Capcom 2 on the
take a picture
Xbox
of
in that
whichever
consignment
ones I
store
got
for like
for
$10.
you. I know which ones they are. Just gotta go look at it. But I mean, there's some duds in there. It's not gems, but I know Panzer Dragoon 2 was one of those. And then we also got the first Panzer Dragoon from.
How much is it on
Games
Xbox
for
now?
like
It's a
$2.99.
little under 100, right? Yeah.
I need that one for my Ultimate Xbox collection. That's why I was asking Brant how that local store, how their Xbox collection look, because I'm adding random shit.
Oh gosh, I have no clue.
It's 80 to 100, I believe. Everything is except for that stupid.
With the controller.
Brant, just right offhand, I know Cesar knows because we've discussed it, and I've found some before listed. Do you know what the holy grail on Xbox collecting is? Do you have any? What would be your highest value Xbox game? So a good guess would be like Steel Battalion or Marvel. Yep, with the controller, and there's a sequel to it, and Marvel vs. Capcom. Those are both way up there. Def Jam Fight for New York is one of those that's way up there too. But
that's the game.
Almost goes for $3 grand.
The Xbox collecting community has decided on.
Oh my gosh!
There's so few copies. It is.
Oh my gosh!
It is a platinum hits copy of NBA Ballers. Yep. That's the game. Look on eBay for platinum hits NBA Ballers Xbox. It's unbelievable. And it's for no reason other than this community has decided. There's actually platinum hits collectors out there, which I've looked at how they do their shelves. Like green cases and then silver cases underneath there. And I'm like, that's stupid. Who would do that? And I'm looking at mine like, that would look pretty good on my shelves. But NBA Ballers, platinum hits. you could literally sell it and go buy a decent used car. Right, so sorry. Or pay for 2 years of school somewhere if you're off campus. It's bizarre, man. And keep your eyes peeled.
That's
NBA
ridiculous.
Baller Platinum hits specifically. The regular
Right,
one,
you can put
which
your
is
children
the same shit,
through college, or you can buy
$8,
NBA Ballers.
a little bit more if it comes with there's a soundtrack CD that came with it originally.
Put your son through
So,
school or NBA
for
Ballers.
that
Let
one,
him know what he's
you're
worth.
talking thousands of
All
dollars
right.
for the Platinum Hits version of NBA. So stupid.
I would have bought you a used car for your first car, but I had to get the NBA Ballers.
Here's NBA Ballers.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
you could buy a used Corolla. You could buy an old
No.
mid-90s Corolla. I mean, if the madness keeps up, that might be a good investment. But I found a listing on eBay today that it was $11,000, and that was one of the games that they had prominently featured. They had. So I'm looking at, like, seriously, I probably have more Xbox games than anything now at this point, just because I've picked off these.
Don't get me started on that
offhand.
bullshit. Silent
The
Hill.
first Xbox, we've talked about this before. They did some wild shit with that thing.
No,
And
the best
it got
best version is the
better
greatest
version
one on
for the most
PS2,
part of like the PS2 and GameCube titles.
and it's super fucking expensive. You saw how much that thing is? Like
Things like
almost $300.
Silent
I was like,
Hill, we
holy
talked about
shit!
this on this
I looked at the
podcast.
one I got. I'm
It's
looking at
better
it right now. It's
certain
just the
ways,
regular
but
bastard
Bobby's
version.
not quite right on the Xbox version.
Right next to my Silent Hill 3.
There's no definitive Silent Hills anywhere. And
I'm
then,
on.
yeah.
I got it on Xbox. I got it on PS2, and I don't have the fucking Holy Grail Silent Hill 2.
Yeah. I have the bastard version on PS2, and I have the Platinum Hits non-NBA Ballers version on Xbox. I have an
Oh,
extra
don't worry, man.
Xbox.
If y'all need Connect Adventures, I can get y'all
If
50 of them.
anybody's
So.
in need randomly. Oh, bro. We legit need to get together. 'Cause I was
Walk
talking
into
on the
any
pre-show
Goodwill.
about consolidating some rooms, and that surplus box is getting to be a little unwieldy. So maybe we can wheel and deal, all of us, at some point. So there was a podcast I was listening to. Yeah, a podcast I was listening to about preservation and emulation and things like that. That Connect is going to be like they found a way to add that because it has that USB adapter, right? So they found a way to really kind of get that into PC so it's able to be emulated, that sort of thing. So it won't be that hard. But like the
You
Xbox
don't say.
One Connect was
I thought Brand was
specialized,
grabbing
like,
a copy.
super specialized. They ended up selling it for like.
I thought Brand was reaching for a copy of
It
Connect
came with that
Adventures.
adapter for free for a while, but then that thing got super expensive too. But they were noting that
Don't tempt me.
Connect Adventures is the best-selling 360 game. Did y'all know that? Yep. There's more copies out there than anything. I know Cesar called me from Goodwill. Huh? Days gone. Those days are gone when he bought Connect Adventures. But there is a whole era of people.
I ran into a gentleman while working
now they have disposable income and they'll want those games
near the mall.
Connect Adventures.
And he was an older gentleman. And he was wearing an NES hat, and I complimented him on his hat. He's like, "Man, this was it, man." And he's like, "I'm trying to find one," and blah blah blah. And I told him about a couple local game stores and things like that. He's like, "Yeah," he's like, "'Cause I just want the old console. I want Duck Hunt. I want Mario. I want, you know." And me and him talked for a second about video games and how, you know, back when that was it, you know, we thought it couldn't get any better. He's like, still, these are up there for me, man. It won't get any better. These are it. So.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody posted on Twitter, I think I retweeted it. They always, like, we had this expectation for
Yeah.
next generation, right? We had these leaps and bounds, and they showed 91 and 2001. And I think what they showed was, like, either Sonic the Hedgehog or Mario World, which we know are timeless. They're beautiful games. Then they had
Yeah.
like Dead or Alive 3. It's like this was the jump of 10 years. This is what we got, right? Those are two drastically different games, and just how our medium has evolved. And that you look at that 10-year gap, and I mean both of those.
I don't know,
hold
but
up as
everything
timeless
comes back
examples.
around.
We
I
had
mean,
that sort of
with
jump,
indie developers being
I think you have to delve
indie
off into, like,
developers, I mean,
the Wii, where you have
2D
control
has made
types,
such a
or VR,
comeback
where
in
you have
pixel
different
art
types of
and
interactivity.
even
I guess you
like
could argue for HD
janky
is that
polygonal
sort of jump, maybe.
3D stuff is kind of making a comeback. Like it's to that point where it's one of those things where it looks so bad but it's good, you know, kind of thing. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a couple indie games with that PS1 look, that low poly filter.
No, I'm looking
I
at
don't
the
know,
chat
like
and
you
I'm
said, Brand, a good game's a good game,
tapping in
and
there.
when you settle into it, the sheen of
Yes, well, that's what I was
looks
more
like a
concerned
game
about
from
that. I don't
96
know what
or
that.
86 or
Wait, what's happening?
2016. It kind of
That's we
fades
done,
away,
yeah.
and you just get enveloped in that game no matter how it was when it came out. Cesar has suddenly found
Yeah,
it.
we should. Tough acting to acting.
Recipes,
Man who only
John
rode
Madden,
on
and then we have
buses.
a Russian person also. Oh God, Dead Space 2. Yeah, I don't know about that. Yes, John Madden. Do we need to bring up John Madden? A video game titan.
Yeah.
I have a. Yeah, only rode on buses. I will 100% acknowledge John Madden for the great person that he is, and dumbing down. I won't say dumbing down. Presenting football in a approachable way for anybody via broadcast. That was, I think, and that helped me because I would watch those Monday nights that he was on with Al Michaels. I wasn't part of the Pat Summerall era. I'm too young for that, I guess. But you know, making football simple. My sour note on Madden, and it's no fault of the man himself, is that the retailer that I was chained to for 3 years pushed us so hard to pre-order every Madden every year. As soon as one would fucking come out, we'd be pre-ordering the next one and holding tournaments and putting them on loop and all that kind of stuff. And I actually have fond memories of setting up computer matches of Madden and then hiding the controllers on our little demo machines that we had set up in the store and just letting them go and seeing who won. But I mean, that John Madden apparently got. So we're in the age of people can't really hide who they are, right? We eventually find out this was not a good person, or this person, here's how they really think about things. Just the way everything is connected now. And we didn't have this before, so you would like have these 30s and 40s stars in Hollywood that would just be horrible people, but they were movie stars, you know, fame was lavished on them. They were remembered famously and all that kind of stuff. But in today's age, it seems like we always are in touch with, or we eventually find out somebody's true colors.
Yeah.
And he is
Yeah,
somebody who
it's got to.
He never had that record tarnished.
It's got
he never
to.
He never was a bad person.
Agreed.
All these stories coming out now are just, they're heartwarming, and he sounds like an awesome person.
Start taking out the athletes as they.
John Madden. Next year's Madden definitely has Madden on the cover, right? So
Yeah.
Are we gonna stamp that in
Brady?
as a prediction for next year?
I think it was Brady and Mahomes.
You gotta put Madden
Hasn't
on the
been
cover of
cursed
Madden.
since.
And
I like
he was on the
they
cover
keep
for a
putting Brady and
long
Mahomes
time,
on
and
it
then
every
they
year.
started doing the
Like
athlete
the-
licensing thing and making that a big deal.
His name escapes me for soccer. He was
the
on
Madden
there.
curse. The Madden curse lasts until
Like he was on there. Like they had
Brady
Messi
won one
and
or
they.
Mahomes won one.
For us out there, were like one random person on there for the American version. Messi
Yeah.
always. Messi.
Messi, Lionel Messi. Yeah.
Madden 92.
Yeah, I know. They don't know anybody. This is the only soccer player they know. Put him on there.
Madden 92.
All right, here's some fun trivia. What is the most recent Madden game everyone has in their collection? What do you guys have? When's the last Madden you added and put on your shelf? None of us are football gamers, so I know I have some for PS2 and Xbox. My brother and I actually pitched in and got the Wii version when it came out. I think I was still in retail. That's the last version I sold was '07 with Sean Alexander on the front. Because the Wii one, you could snap the ball, you know, when you were quarterback, you snap the ball with the Wii remote, and then you would, you know, it was not that detailed because it wasn't Wii Remote Plus, but you would like throw. We had to have that version. We bought that one specifically, and it was a good version of Madden. Does anybody have a next gen version?
It ruined that man's career.
I'm gonna say I found an Xbox One copy somewhere. I think I have an Xbox One copy. I do remember too. They rushed out that Madden 06 for 360 for launch, the one with Donovan McNabb on the cover, and it had none of the features of the PS2 and Xbox and GameCube one. It was gimped. There was nothing in that thing, and people were so upset. Like, yeah, sure, it looks good, but there's nothing in this version. You do not want this one. And we didn't do any tournaments with that one. We did only the PS2 and Xbox ones on that one. Madden 09 is the last.
I don't know, maybe.
I'm a rambling man, so.
Because of that. The one with Brett Favre on the cover.
Rambling man, so.
More knowledge I'm imparting on you, podcast viewers and listeners.
Yeah.
All right, I've had fun rambling. I would like to have a Ramblecast at some point. Would that be fun, where we don't have anything we have to talk about? We just ramble? It's been fun to me. Do what? We're the Rambling Man. That was the episode title, I believe. All right, games played. Played a little Halo Infinite. Still playing with my brother. We've not made a lot of progress. We're over the bridge and onto that next area. I think, Brant, you've gotten at least, I know you've gotten past that, but so over the bridge and kind of exploring a couple of those places, you know, picking up some more Marines. We took out another objective or whatever, like a bad guy that's not one of the main towers. Picking up audio logs. We're kind of skipping over things. We're not being 100% completionist with the areas because I think, first off, it's not that much fun to try to find the stuff. You know, you still have the scan, like the Tomb Raider, hit the X button, and then it shows you where kind of everything's at, but there's so much stuff that it'll highlight, you know, like weapon caches and those power cells that you pick up and throw. You don't know what is an audio log or what's not. So we're kind of filing those away under, when we play the multiplayer one, there'll be 4 people looking for that shit. So then we can all try to, you know, find that stuff collectively. So we're not really actively hunting that stuff down. We'll look around for a little while, but we're not wasting a lot of time. If we find it, we listen to it because they do add to the story.
Yeah.
The Marines are misbehaving a lot. Like if you try to load them up in the Warthog or the Razorback or something, you're honking at them and they're looking around at something that doesn't exist.
Transporting people to their deaths.
We've drawn a lot of parallels to the first Halo, but sometimes it feels like the AI is from the first Halo. Like, get in the Jeep, fuckers, let's go. We dropped you off here. We killed like 2 people. We didn't move but 20 feet from the vehicle. Get back in the fucking car. Let's go. But we're having fun with it, and it's awesome. That campaign is great. I'm still gonna argue it should have launched, or it should have been delayed at least, and just let people focus on multiplayer until that campaign, you know, 4-player co-op or at least 2 players, just something. But I'm happy for what it is, and we'll talk about it later on down the road. The other game that I got into is Golf Plus for the Oculus Quest 2. This is a full-fledged licensed golf game. So imagine Wii Golf, right, where you would like look at the screen and you would line up your shot and all that kind of thing. But just imagine that in VR. So when you hit the ball, you can track it. You hit the trigger on the back of the Oculus controller, and it's tracking you. And you can fly with the ball, and you're like looking over the scenery and that kind of stuff. And it is I did a little research on like the best golf game for this platform, and this was recommended, and it was part of their sale over the Christmas holiday. And it's a social game. So I played the first round. I played of it with friend of the show Dale, friend of the show Russell, and friend of the show Jeremy. So we were all able to use. I talked a couple of weeks ago about the Oculus team or the group chat thing where it's just coming over the speakers and you don't need any dedicated headset or anything, and it's just there, and it was super clear, but you could still hear the game audio. And it's we were all playing on the easiest difficulty, so it wasn't, it's pretty straightforward getting to the hole and lining up your shots and your putts and things like that. But it's a very good golf game, and it was on sale for $12.99, I think. So it was a lot of fun for the four of us to jump in there and just talk trash back and forth. And one of the views, like you can bounce around. Like I said, there's a teleporting mode where you can look at the course from any angle, and then there's also a giant mode where you'll your avatar turns super huge, and then you're like way above the course. But then also your club is huge, so you're like you can you can wave your club down in front of somebody's face when they're down there, and you can literally see them turn around and look up at you. And there's some really cool VR scale things with that golf mode. So that is highly recommended. Is that it with the Quest? I think so. Moss was on sale, so I'm really going to give Moss an honest effort. They gave it to us free on PlayStation at some point. They gave it to us free on the Rift at some point. So it was on sale on Oculus, which the Oculus store and the Quest store and the Rift store are two totally different things. But I figured, I've gotten this game free twice. Let's throw them in some money. I think it was $20 for Moss on that one, so I'm going to give that a shot here in the next couple weeks. The other big game.
It's the one that just had a update to where it lets you pair two cars to one system rather than having everybody have their own system and cart.
Go Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. Have y'all seen this? Are you aware of the home circuits? Okay. The cat.
Yeah.
Listen. What? Okay, I did not mind because as of very recently, we now have 2 Switches in the household, which was a massive hit. Santa set up the Switch in the bedroom, I guess overnight, and they were amazed that it was already ready to go. On Cesar's recommendation, Santa did factory reset the console, so it was ready for them to log into and kind of make their own, and practice. It makes you, like when you first set up a Switch, it makes you pull the controllers out and use the Joy-Cons separately and then put them back in. It's kind of a ingenious introduction to Switch, even though it's common knowledge now, but if somebody's a new adopter to that platform, it's kind of a good walkthrough. So my oldest child got Animal Crossing, and the youngest got Mario Kart, the regular Mario Kart. So they've been kind of swapping back and forth. It hasn't been a big deal sharing the one Switch, though I did. They were going somewhere today, and I said I announced over Alexa, bring down your Switch console. So it takes like 5 minutes, and I'm like, what is happening? Just bring me the damn thing, because somehow that one got made the primary. So every time I try to do something on my Switch, it's like, check in to make sure you can do this content. I'm like, fuck, I'm not dealing with this. I'm going to deactivate that one, and I'll add it back later. And then I'm getting angry. I'm like, where's that Switch? Come on. And here comes my oldest. And they have brought the dock.
Oh, no.
They flipped down the back and unhooked all the cables and brought precariously, they got the console sitting in the dock. It's like, you said you wanted the console. I've got the dock. I've got everything. I'm like, no, I see what you meant. I'm sorry I was mad, but no, you just popped the thing out. It is the thing. So there's been some funny, we were old enough to know, clearly, all of us old-ass bastards, we were old enough to know what the Switch was, what it did, how to interact with it, things like that. And I assumed they had been around when I assumed they knew what was up. But there has been a learning process. They didn't know how to do Mario Kart 2 players. It's like,
wow.
We took the 2 Joy-Cons off. It's just, one would hand one the controller, one had the other, and they were literally co-oping. Like, you've seen people play. You've seen people.
If they're
play
having fun,
whatever. They're doing Mario Kart like that. And I'm like,
blow their minds.
They're competitive. They were finishing. They weren't last. They were like 4th or 5th. Oh, that one steers. That one steers, and I do that. They were making the double dash version. Oh my god. So I'm like, no. All right, look. Yeah, this was working. It's fine. Let me show you what to do. Go here, go to multiplayer, and then it's going to bring you into the screen. Then you reselect the controllers, hit L and R, and then you're each one. And then they played like 30 seconds of that, and they decided the screen's too small. Let's go back to the big screen.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, that probably makes sense. That's a good decision. So there's been a learning curve, but they're taking care of it. And the oldest is checking Animal Crossing, even though I had to read a bunch of it to them. It's a very, I'm like, they're getting old enough to read, so it's like you got to start reading these things to yourself and getting these, if you want to know what's happening. So now the current drama is I can't make a shovel, so I've got to go up there and help them. I can't make a shovel. There's stuff I want to dig up, but I don't have a shovel. So that's where we're at on that one. I did transfer my island from my previous console, so I do have that on mine. And I did set up the OLED. I guess that's something in the past couple weeks. And I haven't done much with it, but I was just looking at the two menus next to each other, and it's like, oh god, I probably wouldn't have known if I wasn't able to directly compare it. But the OLED is freaking gorgeous, man. Just all the Nintendo, because all the Switch stuff is red, right? So you see that red popping like more than anything else. It's right out there. But back to Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. We have 2 Switches. We have a Mario car. We have a Luigi car. We did not know what this was gonna be. Like, you see videos of the cats chasing and that sort of thing. And initially, I let them set up the course, and it was this real small, probably 6 feet by 6 feet thing. And I'm seeing all these signs. There's arrows telling you which way to go, and there's the gates and stuff. And I'm like, I don't think that's how it works. So we have kind of a loop in our living dining room area. I was like, use this loop and set this up and see what you get. And so what it will make you do is it will go in a free roam type thing. So there's 4 gates, and then there's arrows telling you which way to go. So if you want to curve it around certain things. So we were trying it right after Christmas. So the Christmas tree was up. So obviously the Christmas tree is going to be an obstacle, like Chaco Mountain when you're going around the edge of the volcano and you might fall off. But everything's pretty flat level, and the cart works on our carpet perfectly fine. It keeps flying on through. So they set up this course, and it lets you drive it, and then it will kind of tell you, hey, do you want to set this course? So then you drive it again, and then it will create a Mario Kart course based off of that. So you can either do it native, like where you see the tree, the Christmas tree, and my couch, and my kitchen chairs, and that kind of stuff, or it will add like snow stuff, and it will create levels based off of that. And it is more advanced than I ever thought it was going to be. They never had any lag. The camera was perfect. There's a camera on top of the Mario Kart thing, and the figure's super well built. I should have brought one of them down here. Like, even if the game was $20 and you just got the figure, no game, it would be a great looking Mario Kart figure. The tires are real spongy. The figures look really, really good, and they're animated in the game. So when they're driving and they try to back up, like the Mario or Luigi will turn around and look over their shoulder as they back up. The items, you got your blue shells and red shells and things like that, and it's awesome. I could not believe what it was going to turn into based off commercials and marketing, and you heard people talk about the cats chasing them and stuff. The cats were interested, but going through those gates and the way it renders them, like, the gates turn into these living things. They're cardboard cutouts when you put them in your house, but as that camera and that cart drives underneath them, they turn into these living, like a Mario Kart, gate that you would go under. And the arrows turn into these, they have arrows pointing a certain way, and they turn animated like neon signs, and they're like, go left, go right, whatever that is. And it'll add in AI opponents for when you do multiplayer, if you want to do like Grand Prix and stuff. And it's so awesome. Like, if it's one of those things, like the upcoming Pokemon game seems like what I had envisioned a Pokemon game would be when I was a kid. And this almost seems like a space age Mario Kart or something. I don't know. Just something that it wasn't available when I was playing Mario Kart 64. And if I had imagined like the greatest Mario Kart experience, it would have been something like this. but they love it, and they're dying laughing, and we're watching them, and it's just I can't. When you're watching it on the Switch screen, it's like I can't believe this is a thing. It looks incredible. Highly recommend. I can't remember if it's on sale anywhere or not, but if you can, especially if you have 2 Switches available, and the there's no software in the box. It's a free download off the eShop. So maybe that's the only negative, is that it's tied to whatever that digital download is, and for however long that server's up, that you can play this Mario Kart Live circuit. But we never had any camera connection issues or frame rate tears, or the things ran out of battery. That was it, because we just took them out of the box.
You should tweet at Nintendo and tell them to do F-Zero versions of that. Hopefully get 60 frames per second.
Charge them beforehand, but they're USB-C.
Yeah.
The charger's on the side of the cart on the figure, so you just like slide up one of the side
No,
panels and plug it in, and it's ready to go.
You gotta put that motor in there for that F-Zero, so it take off toes when it runs into people's toes.
This weekend, both of them, so.
Toes is slicing off.
I would play an F-Zero version of this. Absolutely. I don't know if they move fast enough for that, unless you simulated, getting between those gates, that it was just so much faster than you're actually going. The only thing we ran into, and literally ran into, is they tell you in the setup to weigh down your gates. And I'm like, why do you have to? Because it's pieces of cardboard. So one of them would clip the gate, like with the tire or something, and it would either drag the gate with them or move it. So that may be something to do. We were just testing it out. It wasn't like a permanent Mario Kart day setup, even though we ended up playing for like an hour on that first battery charge. But that might be when we have an actual course that we want to, like, they want to do this course.
So the DK Mountain didn't ruin you like it did for Double Dash?
Glass or something down on that cardboard, just to keep it from shifting if they hit it, because they hit stuff a lot. I hit stuff a lot, because I gave it a couple of races. And it's Mario Kart Live circuit. Mario and Luigi version.
I think that was the breaking point for us, was that DK Mountain.
Oh, God. Oh, we hadn't played that course. That ruined Double Dash for me for, it's been about, 3 years? We haven't played it since then. I still have that save file. We could still try to beat that cup.
You just have a reminder of something that never happened.
I have beat that game years ago with a friend of the show.
Yeah, I've never beaten Halo 1, so.
Many years ago, we played through all Mario Kart Double Dash, all circuits. I still want to do it, though, and have it on that memory card.
For me, I ended up finishing up Psychonauts 2. I did everything, got the platinum. I think it took me 30 hours.
Like beating Halo 1.
Game is a lot of fun. It's very very well written.
Cesar, tell me what you.
It's a good ass game, man. Like I said, the story on there is great. They tied off any loose ends. So I mean, there's no lingering story bits on there. So because I guess if they were afraid that they wouldn't be able to make another one, that they wouldn't have to get any fan uproar on there. Outside playing through that game, I never felt once that the game was too long or it was short. I thought it was just the right amount. And that was like good 26 hours, I think it took me to go through all the levels and everything. And I think the extra 4 hours was me bullshitting, get 100% on everything.
That's
just to get the platinum.
That's fair.
But in which I didn't have any issues with it, because it's like I said before, like the way they do the collectathon type thing is not like, all right, let's fucking put this across the map and you got to do like Lord knows what to get over there, and then you're screaming like this is impossible and throwing the controller at the wall like Banjo-Kazooie. But it's like I said, it's entertaining, and it's I don't know, man. It's a good ass game, man. It's still one of the best looking games I've ever seen. It's up there, and it's for a PS4 game. I need to fire up the Series X version of it, because I know it's probably even looks better since that's a native version of it on that one. And just to look at it, I mean, it's good enough for me that I would go in there 100% it again on Xbox. So I enjoyed the hell out of that game. The game was a lot of fun. After playing through all three of them in a month span, within days of each other. Outside of that, I did play the new Cotton game, Rock and Roll. That came out in Japan Christmas Day. Got shipped to me, I think, 2 days ago. I got the PS4 one and I fired it up. This one is made by Studio Saizen. I think they make the Umisai games, which is like that like a side scroller and like strange, like a Sword of the Stranger or something like that. Not Sword of the Stranger, that's an anime. Strange, I forgot what it's called, but they made these like offshoot games. Code Princess is another one they made. Where they're like in between, they're not like a AAA studio, but they're not like an indie studio, they're like a AA studio. So this is Cotton's 30th anniversary. So not Cotton from King of the Hill, but Cotton, the video game series, 30th anniversary.
Fitty man.
And so like this was part of their celebration. So like throughout this whole year, we had a remake, we had Saturn ports, and this is kind of like the last thing he did. So like, it's like a greatest hits of like Cotton games. It's done very well. The music is very good. It is a shoot 'em up. There are certain bits where you have to do with the character facing forward to collect all the tea thing. There's a tea ceremony thing where it's like it's always been Cotton's thing. Like you always had to collect them for bonus points at the end of the level, and then there's certain levels where you just get them at. But the music's well done. The story's simple. There's like Willow Candy in there, and she's used. They coerce her into collecting them, and then she finds out like this giant witch has collected them all in outer space and is trying to destroy the world with it because they ended up bumping into her with one of the arguments that Cotton had with the fairy. It was some random bullshit. It's lightheartedness. The only difference in this game is that that's the only story mode, and I think it took me an hour and 15 minutes to go through the whole story just for that whole thing. And it's not terribly difficult because you can do it on medium, hard, and an infinite. And I think medium is if you're new to shoot 'em ups, it's probably just the right difficulty. The only difference is I felt that the bosses were a little bit easier. So I think if you play shoot 'em ups a lot, going to hard, it might be the best balance. I never played the whatever the other one is. I forgot what's called, like a special mode. Like I think it was infinite. It was not infinite. It was like I forgot what it was called. It was something different.
Okay.
It is a difficult one. So they had it up where you just get different, and like you said, as you go through and get different orbs, you get different attacks, which can turn into homing missiles, fire, and depending on there, it's like the standard shoot 'em up stuff. So I went through that. It only took me about an hour and a half. When you beat the game, I mean, before you meet the game, you have like
it lasts forever.
Character roulette of different characters from different series that are owned by Success, who owns the copyright to Cotton now. So it's like Umikase, you can choose her. There's some other characters from other series that I'm not familiar with. We can choose them, and they play differently. So like they'll have different special attacks, which is like the standard bomb one. They always have them shoot them up, and there's one where she just collects enemies and just kind of rotates them in there and chains them all up together. And then there's other ones that like they'll have a bazooka on there, and they all play differently. But I mean, that's pretty much all you get out of it. I mean, if you go through the story mode with those characters, it's still told through Cotton's perspective, on her perspective from the first story mode. So once you beat the game, it's done. So if you play with another character, you're getting the same story again with the.
It's just like a reskin.
That you always got.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. This is more. I mean, you most of the time you don't really play these games for story. I mean, it's neat, but mostly you do it for the gameplay, and the gameplay is done very well. I don't think I had any character in that I felt like I played all of them. I didn't beat the game with all of them, but I don't think I played with all of them. I don't think I had any that I felt were bad, or I was like, got bored, and like, why am I doing this type of thing? Am I doing this for the trophies or just fucking around? I mean, at this point, but they all play well, and they all play different.
I was about to say, at least it's cool that even though it doesn't really do anything changing the story wise, it's always neat when they put in different characters and change up the way you play the game and the way the character plays, which kind of gives you a reason to run through it again, because now you're doing things you might not normally do, or having to rethink how you're playing levels because it's not the same character. So
yeah. It's like you said, it's like they all play differently. So I mean, as you go through there, there's you can play the levels differently in different ways. So so it still feels fresh, even though it's the same thing. I mean, but the story's the same. The other game I played, and I know we talked about this before, is I played Clockwork Aquario, which is that game that wasn't what did they say was even longer than Duke Nukem Forever? Was the longest unreleased game. I think they went back and the guy who created the Wonder Boy series was making this, and this was an arcade game, and it's called Clockwork Aquario, and it was never finished. And then they found the code somewhere, and they went back to him, and they asked him if he wanted to finish the game, and he went back and he did it. Really? It's not a terribly long game. I mean, you can probably beat it within an hour, but it is definitely a arcade game. Ryuichi Nishizawa was the guy who did it. And he's the guy who did the Wonder Boy series. And the game according to Wikipedia, Clockwork Aquario was originally intended to be the last arcade game by Westone, developed in 1992 for the Sega System 18 and pushed the hardware to its limits. And then it was canceled in 1993, and then they went back and finished it this year. So, however long, it was longer than Duke Nukem Forever, but they finished it. So I think that's what somebody had put that down. It's like the World Guinness for the longest unfinished game that got done. So, it's an arcade game. It is what it is. I don't know. It's like you choose 3 different characters in there. One's a boy, one's a girl. I think it's Huck is the boy's name, Ellie is the girl's name, and there's like a robot Gash. And as you go through the levels, you pop like these balloons, and you can use these balloons to advance to the different levels. And you have these other enemies where you jump on them, and they kind of like glow, a different color, and you can pick them up and throw them at stuff, and then you'll get other items from there. It's definitely something from its time. This is definitely from 1993. This is not something that was designed recently from other games that I've done on there. It definitely shows its age, and it's not very long. You have some kind of boss that no story explains what he's doing. He's the final boss at every level you're in there. He's kind of like the Robotnik of that level, and he's just jumping to different machines that you have to do different beats to destroy. And then as you go through, you just collect gems and other items in the level, and it's all based off high score. It's like it's arcade ass game, and this is on Nintendo Switch and PS4. I think it's like $20 digitally. I think Strictly Limited did like the physical release for it. I think I bought the physical. I didn't think I did buy the physical release of it. They actually came in pretty early than I thought it was going to be. And I think there's going to be a Japanese physical release that's not going to be limited. I think it's going to be more easily attainable that you can get from Amazon or PlayAsia. And the game's done in all English anyways. So it's pretty interesting to look at. And it's, like I said, it's something I definitely would have probably played in arcades if I was in, I think, 93. I was still in Germany. That was something I would have probably played in Germany. And it's another quarter sync because I think the way they design this game, it's like a lot of these games that they run like off on emulators, and this seems like it's an emulator game. They give you like unlimited credits. That's the only thing I have not. I don't know. That's something you unlock in this game or not. When you start the game, they expect you to play like the original arcade game, so you can't sit there and keep popping in credits to beat the game if you want to. So you choose either easy, medium, or hard mode, and based off that depends on how many lives you got. So easy you get like 9, medium you get 6, and I think hard to get 3. And the game's hard as hell. It's not easy. So it's like I'm going through. It's like I couldn't even get past like the first complete set of levels without going through all my 9 lives because like it's a game. It's an arcade game. It's like sometimes they put that bullshit hitboxes where they expect you to lose quarters on. So and sink quarters into. It's in there. That's just the way it was. So to get the game to last longer. But yeah. It's pretty cool. It's something cool and neat to look at. I think like for $20, it's not that bad. I don't know if you want to buy the physical version. I think it was like $39 for that one. That might be a little bit much, but unless you want that piece of history or not. Yep. Not going to take up too much time. The other game I've actually, because I haven't actually jumped on any of my consoles recently. I started playing Tsukihime on PC, and that's a visual novel, and it takes place in the same universe as Fate Stay Night. I'm playing the original one first before I played the PS4 one because we didn't get a translated version of the PS4 one. I have imported that one for PS4 and Switch. There's not much I can talk about on that one. I think I've put like only 6 hours into it. I'm only in the first chapter. So like you play as Tono, who's a kid who got into an accident when he was younger and got like stabbed from some kind of glass that's in his chest, and it leaves a huge scar. And then he starts seeing these lines in the world, like cracks in people and in furniture and on the floor. And then he noticed that he brought a knife and just started going along the crack on the bed, and it sliced it in half. And so he didn't know where it came from or what happened. So like this Aoka shows up out of nowhere and kind of explains the whole situation to him. It's like, hey, this power you got, be careful. And she made him these glasses where they make the lines go away so he doesn't see them. And this is like when he's like 9 years old. So like he gets disowned from his father because he's considered weak in his family, and so he ends up living with like some aunt and uncle, and they take him in for the next 9 years, and then randomly he gets a call to come back to his home. Like they come back home, and he leaves that family and he starts going back home, and it's like he finds out his father has already died, and his sister's back, and she's like the head of the family now, and he's trying to reintegrate into that family name in there, and it's like you're interacting with these characters, like there are 4 characters in there, and like there's something weird going on because like in that town there's like a serial killer going around killing people in the middle of the night, and like there's splotches of blood everywhere. But like as it starts to slowly unworld, and you like a lot of these people that you're surrounded by have these different powers and different things going on. That's very odd. It's kind of like it's weird as you go through because he's just trying to get reacquainted with the sister, the one that he considered he abandoned like 9 years ago when his father disowned him because he never checked up on her and everything. He just left her. So he never followed up with her. So like they're clashing, and you can tell she has like this grudge against him. Like, hey, you just freaking left me here, and she wasn't happy the whole time, and she was like raised in a way that she didn't want to be raised, basically. So there's a lot of I guess you say like drama in that area. But as you go through, you see his everyday life, and it's like he's getting pulled into this world slowly. So like I said, it's one of those visual novels that has different routes in there. So like there's a different route for each person, and depending on which ending you get, I think there's a true ending for each person. But this is like they consider this the prequel to like a Fate Stay Night because it's all in the same universe. Like if you ever, I would show you guys a video of like somebody did a video on Fate Stay Night and like their storylines and how like if you think Marvel's bad, look at Fate Stay Night. There's like fucking, it's like somebody lost breath trying to explain everything. Like, okay, this happened, but in this alternate universe, this happened. And in this alternate universe, this happened. And this is what would happen if this didn't happen here. And this happens over here outside in his own bubble. And the guy's sitting there like, he's sitting there like, I don't know how to explain this. He's like, it's weird because I'm explaining it to you and it doesn't make sense, but I'm looking at it and it makes sense. That's what he kept telling me. So I was like, I don't know, man. It's one of those series that are like that. This is just part of it. Like they all take place in the same universe. The last game I'll segue into this one because I know Brant's been playing it. This is the last one I did was Record of Lotus War, Deadly, and Wonder Labyrinth. Yeah, I think you brought it up. This one I sat through and I beat it all. I'm a huge Record of Lotus War fan. I went through the books, went through the anime. It was one of the first animes I've ever seen. Renting them from Blockbuster on tape back in the day. Yeah, and it's like it sucked because it was there were OVAs. There were 30 minutes on each tape, and you had to rent the tape 13 times because there was 13 tapes. So you get 30 minutes. And it was super expensive. Like I can get the whole fucking thing on one fucking Blu-ray now, And I paid $16. I think it cost me like $90 to rent the whole series. So it was like, yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, and it's like you mentioned last time, and I know what interests Brent is no lies. I mean, disclaimer. I've played this in like 2019. This was on
Steam.
Early access games on Steam. They've been working on this for a long time. Yeah. The final version came out, I think, last year. I think like I said, I'm a Record of Lotus War fan. I've been looking at this for a while. This is a good ass game, man. It like I said, it plays like a Symphony of the Night. Symphony of the Night, Symphony of the Night. I'm doing the tells in there. It plays like Symphony of the Night. It's no apologies about it. It's straight through there. The music's similar to it. The map system. I think the boss battles, right? Too. Brant, everything's all oddly like.
Yeah, it's
I don't think they went too. There's some stuff they went differently on, but it was almost like we know this works. We're gonna go with it all the way through. And like I said, there's nothing wrong. I think we talked about this through text. I mean, I enjoyed it more because I know the story beats of it, and there's nothing wrong if you don't know the story beats. You can go through it. It's still a fun game to play. I just know I got a lot more out of it because I'm familiar with the story. So and I know the creator. He kind of took a break from doing the story for like many years, and he started doing a new light novels for it again. And this takes place right along the light novels because like there's a 100-year break since he ended it, and now they're kind of picking up and they're going back between those 100 years and showing what happened. And Deadly is a they don't really explain it in there, but Deadly's she's a high elf, and she's immortal, and she doesn't age, she doesn't die. So there are certain characters she interacted with in those 100 years that they were regular humans and they passed. And one of them was like her partner, her other half. You know, he like that's what the whole basis of this game is, like her getting over that person. So, because they just died of old age. So it's like and she's still alive. So it's like that's how the visual novels are going in this direction. This kind of takes that story beat if that's where it's going with and how it deals with. I don't know, man. I don't know if you want to add any more to it, Brent. On there, but I did get mine came in from Amazon Japan.
Son of a bitch.
That's the one I got.
Yeah, I'm thinking of buying it physical since I just bought the digital license. I'm thinking of buying it physical for Switch when it comes out. It's
coming in Europe and nothing here yet.
Yeah.
Red Art Games is doing the European version. The Japanese one I pre-ordered as soon as it posted on there, like a couple months back. I think play Asia. I wouldn't be surprised the limited run ends up doing it. So
I know it's been delayed here on Switch because when I was telling my family about it,
okay,
my son got interested in it as well. And I said, well, I looked, when I was looking, it said that it was coming to all these platforms, or that it was on all these platforms. And he started looking on Switch, and it's not on there. And when I looked it up, it said it was slated for the 16th or 17th of this month, and then it got pushed back into the 28th of January, I want to say. So, but it is coming to Switch. And I did see the physical copies for PS4, PS5, and Switch on those Asian storefronts, and as well as coming to Europe and everything like Cesar saying. Oh my gosh. It's it's if you enjoy the gameplay of Symphony of the Night, the style, it's that. It's more of that. I remapped the button controls because some of them are a bit awkward if you're used to Symphony of the Night.
It threw me off too, and I think I had to like relearn it because every time I started up, I always ended up firing magic first.
Yeah,
for whatever reason. Like fuck. I was like, why did I do that? I was like,
I remapped that.
I think I might hit up the game.
Is it the jump that needs to be swapped around?
I remapped the jump to X rather than
because it was on circle.
It was on circle. And I remapped attack.
Magic's on square.
Yeah,
and then X is.
And the back the backslide, I remapped that to triangle, and then like switching your spirits went to that right trigger.
D-pad, right, I think that's what instead of the D-pad.
Right trigger, and then,
you had to hold what square for to change your spirits, which sucked.
Yeah,
because it paused.
I went to right trigger for those, and left trigger is bow and arrow. Because
instead of a triangle.
Yeah. So they've added like I said, it's Symphony of the Night, but they've added a few different mechanics. So rather than doing your like Street Fighter-esque combos to do certain magic moves, you press circle, and it just does a magic. And you can press and hold circle, and it kind of like brings up a quick menu, kind of pauses the game for a second, and you can scroll through your different magics or healing items or things like that, and equip them real quick, and then just press circle and use them, and then press and hold it, and you can switch between whatever you need to. And then, like I said, there's like a bow and arrow, so there's a quick kind of firing mechanic you can do. You just press the button, and there's little puzzle areas that you need to like fire the bow and arrow certain ways. Like there's like gears in certain areas, and you'll be on one side of the room, and you have to bounce your arrows off like pieces of metal in the ceiling to like have them go around the room and hit a rope to open a door, and other little things. And it's done really, really well. And at first I really wasn't using the arrows for combat, and then I started doing it, and it helps a good bit.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that's a little kind of new to the formula is she has two different spirits that she switches between. So there's like a fire spirit and a wind spirit, and it shows up. There's a circle at the top of the screen, and it'll change colors depending on which one you are using, either red or blue. And they actually level up. So the more you use fire, it'll kind of level up your wind spirit, and the more you use the wind spirit, it levels up the fire. And it goes up to like level 3, and if you get hit, it'll actually reset whichever spirit you're using. It'll kind of knock it down a level. And while you're on like level 3 on the highest setting, you can it'll increase the damage. It'll actually start healing you, and you actually need to switch in between wind and fire in some cases, because certain enemies are resistant to wind or resistant to fire. There's also, am I thinking of Silvergun, where you had like the black and white shots?
It's similar to like a shoot 'em up, where there's certain areas where you can flop back and forth, and if you hit the matching one, then you're protected. You'll get was it magic nullified or something like that, or drain or something else. So you can drain the magic from them.
Yeah, so there's Ikaruga as well. And so there's certain enemies that will fire different orbs or even elemental attacks that'll be wind or fire. And if you switch to those elements and have them equipped, you don't take damage. And sometimes you have to do it very quickly in some of these fights and stay on your toes. But it's a pretty neat mechanic, the way they kind of integrated that into there. But it's a good ass game. I'm on stage 5 now. How many stages are there, Cesar?
There's 6 stages.
6, okay.
And after that, the game's done. But the 6th stage is it's not long. It's just boss battles. I'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna spoil anything for you. It's just boss battles. That's it. Yeah. So once you get to stage 6, it's
yeah. I know there's like a rush mode or something, because I saw that in the trophies. So
it's not that bad. I mean, because like the enemies you fought before, you're a higher level because you level up, and it's like the first couple bosses. I mean, they're literally 2 hits and they're dead.
Yeah.
It's only the bosses you fight towards the end. It's difficult. Just as long as you remember the pattern, you're good.
Yeah.
Like 5 or 6 hours.
The only one that was a bitch. Excuse my language. Was like the final boss, because you have a boss, and then you immediately, as soon as you beat him, you go into the final boss. So you have to you have to juggle your health just enough.
Gotcha.
To like survive the final boss battle, where you can make it throughout the end. I think that there's a couple times where I died in the beginning, then after I figured it out, I was like, okay, now I got to that boss without getting hit. Which if you do that, you get a sword, just FY. So
okay,
you can go through without getting hit. You'll know what I'm talking about. It's like the bosses before the final boss, after the boss rush. So, and then to me, that was the hardest part of the game. But after I beat it, man, it was still satisfying. So I mean, because I think I beat it while I was watching Monday Night Football, so I threw that on the phone in the background. Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I actually was on vacation last week, so I mean, I had a lot of time to do some certain things. One of which was actually go game hunting. And I picked up a few things. I got Patapon and Final Fantasy Crisis Core for PSP, Gran Turismo 2. I want to say it was like 29. It really wasn't too bad, and I mean it's complete. So, I get nice. I bought Doom for the 32X. Like $7, $7-8. Yeah. It really wasn't. Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for the Genesis, which is it's like a side-scrolling beat 'em up that I've seen and I've tried to get running on my flash cart, and every time I try to get it running on that flash cart, for some reason it just crashes.
What?
So
they got you, man.
So I just bought it. It was like
they got you. You're like, fuck it, I'll just buy it.
Yeah, it was like $6 or $7. So I was like, screw it.
Did you get the McDonald's toys with it too?
What's up?
Oh my god.
Oh no.
We are VR. We are VR.
Brent
Oh,
hunted
dude,
you
I knew VR Troopers, I knew Power Rangers, I knew what was it Big Bad Beetleborgs,
What was it?
all the.
What about the?
got banned from Power Rangers, and we became.
They might have. I don't know if we ever got it over here,
Very specific.
but there's
Brent,
gotta be.
You remember?
There's-
Was it? Yeah,
There's
that's what
freaking
it's
Death
called.
Note games.
You remember
for-
Samurai Cyber Squad?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, with Matthew Lawrence. One of the Lawrence brothers was the lead on that
Yeah.
show
yeah.
before he got
Is
big.
there a VR Troopers
Oh my
game?
gosh.
Did they get a
There's
game
some-
over?
There's some crazy ones. And then I picked up
What the
some N64 titles that I've wanted for quite a minute. Wave Race 64. I've been hunting that for a minute, and that's not a hard title to find. So, Smash
Alright,
Brothers. I
what other
finally
nostalgia
pulled
did you
the
pick up?
the cord on Super Smash Brothers.
Here we go.
No, I didn't. This was the only copy of a Smash Brothers game that I did not have. So now I own every single iteration of Smash Brothers.
You didn't have Smash Brothers?
That's a good one. And then
We got
What is
ours
it?
from the Walmart
Jet Force
closest
Gemini.
to
I got
us.
a
Wanted to get us a game,
boxed
one
copy
versus
of
the
Jet Force
competitive
Gemini.
ones, and I'd say
And then when I
probably
got it home,
this is
realized that it
We'll play
had
this one.
been
We'll play this one forever.
at a
Yeah.
video renting retailer store. Old Blockbuster, because
Okay.
when I was getting everything out and getting everything ready to open it up and check it and clean it, and which everything was actually pretty clean and everything worked. Wave Race actually gave me a little bit of trouble, but I mean it wound up working. It was fine.
Oh,
But really, I've got isopropyl alcohol,
you can't kill those cartridges. You just can't.
electronic cleaner.
Oh, Brent, this is your.
Hmm.
My bad. I didn't mean to bump the thing. This is your best friend.
Yeah, I
This
don't
is
know
what
if
you
I'd
need
do
to
that.
get. This is it.
Yeah,
I got turned on to this years ago. A guy that I knew who had a huge
But,
amount of cartridges.
when I took it out of the
His job
package,
was
it's
cleaning
got
vending
property of
machines. He got a hold
Blockbuster
this
all
stuff,
over it.
vending
And then I
machines.
even looked at the back
And
of
you
the
can almost
package, and
hot
it says,
spray
you know,
this. Oh, I don't do it,
Blockbuster.
but you
So
could-
that was a
right,
nice
but
little
you could almost
surprise.
hot spray this 'cause that's what it's intended
And I mean, even seeing that, I was like, I'm still gonna open it and double check, because I know even seeing that, yeah, you never want to be ripped off, because you never know if somebody slaps something like that on there to be like, yeah, it's more authentic or whatever. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, since the Blockbuster
Dang.
you used to hit up that you're talking about renting these tapes from, was it the closest one to you? The one near the Winn-Dixie? Okay. I got my first Blockbuster card from there, and it was the Sunday before 9/11.
All right, so you wanna-
I have a card.
you wanna go full nostalgia?
11, 10, 9,
All right. So
9/01.
I used to skip lunch,
I have a Blockbuster card.
and then took my lunch money, and then went to that Blockbuster and bought used copies of Sega Genesis games. I bought Art of Fighting, Fatal Fury, and I think Phantasy Star 4.
He lived on the other side of the street from there.
I make it throughout the whole week, and I just like go that Friday and
Dang.
like just drop it down there and buy
Let's go.
their used games.
Whew. good ones.
Mm-hmm.
We rented Perfect Dark so many times from that Blockbuster that we ended up. There was one other weekend. My friend's mom took us. I need to get him on the show at some point, just even as a guest. He's a. We all have those like influencing gamers for us. My friend Andy is one of them. I don't know if either one of y'all has ever met Andy.
Oh
Years
my
ago.
gosh.
We rented Perfect Dark so many times. His mom took us to South Lake Mall because we were looking for hats at Lids, and we went in KV Toys. It's more era stuff. They had sealed copies of Perfect Dark for $10, and she was like, "If you guys will stop renting this fucking game, I will buy you both a copy. Just play something." My parents were not that much into gaming, and I was able to bike from where I lived to his house. Like, I biked across the bridge to his house, and then we were always able to go to Blockbuster. And his mom was way cooler she was a substitute teacher at her school, and she was always way cooler about games. And like when the Dreamcast went down to $99.99, she got him one then. Like, she had put it on layaway at the same Walmart that I was talking about earlier. This all these like small circles,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
that was
So
such a good memory. And I'm like, no, you don't have to buy that for me. And like, I'll find a way to get it. I'll come back. I'll bring back my mom. I'll get it. She's like, no, you guys play this every time you're over. You guys are playing. I need to get you a copy. So that was pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, back to Brent. Sorry, Brent. Blockbuster copies. Brent, don't you dare bring up Blockbuster and not expect this flood of memories to come through. And then we would get, like, you would hope, I'm still on Brent's shit, then you would hope you got the same cartridge, like, please let it have my replays and my teams and my
You didn't delete their Ben's drawn copy of Zelda?
And I still, like, to this day, if I get a used cartridge, I won't save over.
Or is that the one you do
somebody else's
delete?
thing.
You're like, I'm saving over this
They
shit.
got way further than I did. I'm gonna save here. I'm gonna stay away.
It was a very specific name, wasn't it? It was like Ben, I think.
98%
Remember?
Yeah.
Kirby's Adventure. I'm not gonna save over.
Drowned Ben. That's what it was. His name, right? Drowned Ben.
Oh god. Specifically, their Ben Drowned copy.
I don't know, man.
I don't
I
know.
don't know. How does one know one has the Ben Drowned copy of Zelda?
Somebody posted a video on YouTube, and it was weird, very weird.
Until you've drowned a Ben, how do you know you have the copy?
With the screaming child, you suffered a terrible fate.
Thing or something when they had like some old EGM thing. Creepy. It's a creepy pasta.
Oh.
The shit's creepy.
Sorry, Brant. We didn't mean to derail you into Ben's drawn copy of Brant's games played.
Yeah, I know. So of course we had to test a few of them out. We played. We popped in Smash. It already had all the characters unlocked. So and we played that for like, gosh, a few hours. We just going back and forth. Yeah.
We're almost 2 hours in, by the way. I don't know if you are keeping up with this.
But we tore up that game for several hours, and then I popped in Wave Race and was having trouble with it at first. But like I said, I got it working, and we started doing several of the courses and figuring out
Wait a minute, there's 2 more slots.
just
How do I get these people?
figuring out all the different courses and where to go and everything, and competing with each other. And that game, the water physics in that game are actually pretty damn good. It's a pretty good showcase of what the N64 could do. Yeah. Yeah.
It's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't have just a 2D plane where you're like, okay, if I hit go,
It's
I'm
very
gonna go
good.
through here. You had a whole nother
Yeah.
element with that. And besides that, it looked great. The water looks incredible.
Because that's
You had a
one
whole
that like
nother factor of, you can't
people
run your engine
benchmark
if you're,
stuff
like,
with,
up in
and
the air
to
and
show,
bouncing off and you're off
every
the-
time they run,
you
an
have to
emulator on this
it.
thing or on this thing, and if
It's
we're
era.
emulating N64, play Wave Race, and I'm
still
like,
kinda
I've never
much
played
more.
that damn
Even
game, so.
for its era,
But
it's
now having played it, it's pinnacle. It's like it's definitely one of the N64 titles.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Hey man, all knows we need another pilot wings.
And that was my thing.
I beat Halo Infinite.
Water like in this game. That's always
I beat the story, the full campaign.
If I shoot the water,
I'll just let you know that end boss fight really sucks. It's one of those where boss is in the middle of the room, you fight them for a second, and then they kind of go in the middle of the room, and they're like behind a barrier, and you get to fight a horde of enemies, and you do that 3 times. And they wind up giving the enemies all the shock weapons and plasma weapons that freaking drain your shield in 2 seconds. And throw that in with some elites running around. And there's at least one guy with a gravity hammer. So, yeah, it's fun. Until it's not. Yeah. And even on normal, it was just there was some stuff that I'm like, this it's really cheap. This is really cheap. So, but overall, the campaign's really, really good. I enjoyed the story overall.
Not my favorite.
I will say that I did kind of enjoy this new take, this open world Halo. I kind of wish they would have had a little bit more variation in the overworld, though. I mean, I do like going and exploring things, but a lot of the stuff's pretty similar. Like you said, the AI is really, really janky with those Marines. There's not a lot of incentive to go around and do these other things.
Types and such.
Yeah. Not that I have seen so far, so.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the multiplayer, there were so many different. You have that like level that's like a town bazaar kind of thing, like a little city, and then all these different. No, you have all these different environments and levels and stuff in the multiplayer, and it seems that the overworld is pretty much the overworld, and you can travel around and go in it, but it's pretty much kind of consistently the same kind of thing.
You never get that
scattered throughout, or you're walking through those metal hallways, and that's you're walking through, and that's kind of how the game's kind of broken up. And I really, I mean, I do not really have a problem. I enjoyed myself, but it's at the same time, it's like I wish they kind of would have taken some liberties a little bit and broken stuff up. A lot of people like to say compare a lot of games to Breath of the Wild, but in Breath of the Wild, you had those snowy areas, and then you had the like lava areas, and then you had those big grass plains, and so you had all these different like biomes and things.
Mm-hmm. Kevin Costner. Yeah.
And with this, you're either in your metal hallways or going through these, open areas, or rescuing some Marines, or falling off the ring. That's about it.
Mm-hmm. on
and
Virtual Boy.
Delayed it. Yeah.
Oh no.
But I don't know. Everything is saved by that damn grapple hook. That grapple hook makes traversing, combat, everything. It makes everything so much fun.
And then what was this game?
What
was this game?
Yes.
They delayed that. What did this look like? What could you do?
I've been playing a little bit of the multiplayer. They've got some holiday themed things going. You can get a red, white, and green cosmetic color for your armor, for your assault rifle, for your pistol, and as well as some other little things for your nameplates and whatnot. And then the last thing is I do this from time to time. I was out with Richard a couple weeks ago, and I found in a Goodwill a box,
Right.
a full copy of the greatest hits of Legends of Dragoon. All 4 discs were in there. Everything was good. And it was like $5 and some change. And I just pulled it up on my Vita and pulled up my old game. It's after I've beaten like the Divine Dragon and I'm like chasing after Lloyd, and I went and fought Lloyd again, and that for a game that came out in
30
2000.
years. Yeah.
But so I've never beaten the game either. I know I've gotten at least to the 3rd disc before, but I've played through this game so much, but there's so much substance to this game that it always becomes daunting, and I always wind up putting it down and then coming back to it because I love it so much. Yes, which I actually was going to mention a little later and see if you can bring it back at some point. Dude, just plug it up to your PS3 and start plugging in memory cards and transferring stuff.
The original, don't forget I have your memory card in there.
Any of them. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can, and I never used it, and I cannot remember what game I intended to use.
So I was playing it, and my son kind of looked over my shoulder, and he said, "What are you playing?"
Which PS3?
And I said, "I think you'd actually like this game. You like RPGs." He's like, "I don't, maybe."
Yeah, you're right.
And on our trip to the game store, he's like, "So what was that game you were playing?" And I told him, and I kind of gave him a basic, like a really small rundown. Like, oh, it's about, there was this ancient war, and and then you play as this main character who, lost his family to this mysterious being called the Black Monster, and he's been trying to hunt it down for years, and he has this relic that was from his father, and then he finds out that it's a
Brent, you go ahead, Brent. I beat this game when it came out 27 years ago. You're not spoiling anything for me, sir.
It's a dragon spirit, and you can, use some of these people can harness these dragon spirits and use them. So, no, I'm good now.
Let me tell you about Rose and how I feel about her character. Let's go.
So he was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then after we did everything that Monday and came back, right before he went to bed, he came and he says, "Hey, Dad, can you mind if I play that game tomorrow?" I said, "Heck yeah, man." And so a lot of the week was sitting there watching him experience the game. I was like, I got to be there to watch you with that opening cutscene and all, it's, oh my gosh. So how do you think he's playing it, sir? I drug out the original PS1. I found a blank memory card. I found him a original DualShock. And yes, the copy at Goodwill. I said, "You're going to be my guinea pig and make sure that all of these work." And yes, he's hooked up to the CRT. I was like, "You're going to experience this game the way it was meant to be." And dude, he's like over 15 hours, 16 hours into it. He's on the 2nd disc. This kid is tearing it up.
And CRT.
And it took him a minute to kind of get it takes everybody a minute to get the attacking down, the additions and stuff like that. And he still has trouble with some of them, which, I mean, even to this day, some of those additions are, the timing is kind of wonky, and I have trouble with them. But dude, he's enjoying it. I mean, he really likes RPGs. I mean, Cesar, you'd even enjoy it because he's, I was telling him about this game and, saying, "Oh, well, this took like 3 or 4 years to complete, and it was like $16 million, and this was kind of their attempt at making like a Final Fantasy-esque game." And he's like, but Final Fantasy was on PlayStation, right? I said, yep. And they left Nintendo, after Sony showed them what the PlayStation can do, and CD based games, and then he was saying, oh, so yeah, I think the last one that was on there was technically Final Fantasy VI, which was actually like Final Fantasy 3, but it was. And he was telling me about, like, he's been playing those on I think one of the emulators. I have him on the Wii, and he's telling me all about that. And while we're doing that, I was like, oh, okay. And I'm sitting there ordering him the Final Fantasy 7-8 combo pack for Switch for him for Christmas. And he's pretty excited. He's playing, I think he started 7 the other day, playing it a little bit. So. Oh, I had that. That's on the
Instagram thing.
Instagram. Did you not see it?
Background.
Yeah, it's in the background.
What a time, man.
It's in the background after I got the which I spent a little bit of money, and I got a Dart figure from 2000.
It looks amazing.
This posable figure.
You put it on there?
Yeah.
No,
You can see it. Volcano. He just did the Volcano edition. He's attacking the giant glacier dude, and I've got the Legends of Dragoon sitting up on top of the CRT. Right behind that.
I saw that. I like that. It's on in the background?
Damn
it.
All right, I hear you.
I'm the worst. There it is.
All right.
No. These are
I'm glad that you let me know.
I need a full. Yeah. Yep. I see what you did there.
But I guess that's it, and if we're gonna do Game of the Year, this one, or are we gonna skip it? We're gonna just save it for technically next year, because we're.
No,
Oh
I'm
my
glad
gosh!
I didn't grab that set. I'm glad I sent you that set. I should have grabbed that set. Those two sheets.
Yeah, I've got a couple things, so that's it. So. All votes to wait.
I don't care.
Anybody?
I'm literally just going to sprout off what I played, and
5 or 6 things, and that's it. Like,
I've already talked about it on other episodes.
Where we talked about this.
I say if we want to give it the attention it needs, we can wait. It's not that big of an issue.
Yeah, it don't matter to me. So.
Wait. Okay. Yeah. Well, that will be first thing. Yeah. Okay, I agree. Yeah.
2020 season 3.
It could.
Let's go with wait. We'll lead off next.
It could.
So, Game of the Year 2021 is going to be our first episode of 2022. That's fair.
I think I'm good.
Because
we talked about John Madden. We talked about games. Talked about Blockbuster.
That changes our minds. It would be unfair to discount.
We had random Russian fans jump in our chat.
Yep. All right, that's pretty good.
Somebody else did.
Do y'all have anything you want to add to this episode?
No, probably not.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Never click on random links.
That's our three quota we have to hit.
This because you know what a dot and an ong is. So come on, man. So.
Oh God. What is vor.ong? Do we need to go to that? Use your work computer.
Adios.
Vor.ong. I've never heard of a .ong.